Hello and welcome everyone, Stormy Sensei here. We're going to be playing some triangle strategy tonight. I don't think there's any combat in chapter 17. As I was saying, I don't think there's any combat in chapter 17. I think that's okay. It is just all a story all the time. But if you want a quick recap of what we've done so far in this playthrough of the game, everything was about normal. We went to S-Frost in chapter 3 to see Frederica's home. Didn't really matter. I think I just let it randomly happen. And then for chapter 7, after Gustav's basically threatens us saying, hey, hand over Roland or else, we basically test him for the or else because we wanted desperately to make sure that Roland stayed protected.
Deep in the Grand Norzelian mines lay a most unexpected discovery. Crystals of pure salt.
I'll let this play out. Sure, why not?
Now in possession of knowledge that could alter the course of history in Norzelia, the members of House Wolford gather at Whiteholm Castle to discuss their next move.
If griefs could passions move is a good chapter. I love chapter 17.
Unexpected though it may be, the salt crystals are now ours. How shall we proceed?
Carefully, for it has the potential to alter the balance of power across Norzelia. This is an opportunity to reshape the realm to our benefit. We must be strategic.
It's a target on our backs is what it is. There'll be no peace for us so long as we hold them.
It's true.
Hyzant will set upon us with a fury we've never known if they hear of this.
She's right. They will stop at nothing to defend their faith.
Nor will S-Frost go quietly into the night.
Then let us prepare for when word does spread, rather than fret over how long we can keep the secret. Whether we protect the salt as ours, or find another way to use it, we must act soon.
What say you, Your Majesty?
We find ourselves at a crossroads. Not just as a kingdom, but an entire realm. Our decision will touch every life in Norzelia. I too wish to act quickly. But I beg you all for a moment alone with my thoughts.
Your caution is admirable, but ill-advised. Hesitation could cost us everything.
That much is obvious.
It's the first time we've seen Benedict be rash.
When so much depends upon us.
Benedict, I find myself unmoored as well. I wish to hear from all present before we decide upon a course of action.
As you wish. Pray let it be swift.
Serenoa, answer me this. Can I count on you to walk the path with me? Whatever it may be.
Of course, Roland.
I was
We've
named
gotten
Lord
us this
of House
far.
Wolford long before I was inducted into the Saintly Seven. And I've been your friend even longer still.
Say no more. Take the others to Castle Wolford and await my word. Likewise, inform me of any movements from Hyzant.
As you wish. Until we meet again.
Now, is it going to immediately jump to all the individual stories? No. Okay, good. I can get some time to actually talk about everything that we've done. So, outside of the game, this is the 4th playthrough of this game that we've done. Kind of know everything that could possibly happen in the world here. And so we also wanted to make sure that before I finish playing this game for good on this channel, that I do every ending and every path that you could possibly do in this game. To that end, I made basically I contrived a story for this particular playthrough. The conceit is that thus far we have sacrificed everything for Roland. When we fought against Avlora and the might of Esfrost just to protect Roland, we did it. We burned down all the houses in our village to make sure that we kept him safe. Even though we could have used Svarog as an ally, we kept his secret safe when he, when we could have, so we smuggled salt, and then we could have used his identity as Maxwell to, to sway Svarog to our aid, but instead we kept it secret and lost ties with Svarog. And then, in order to do a decisive victory over Esfrost, we flooded the entire city, destroying the town and whatnot. And then lastly, we rather than visiting our father who was going to be assassinated, and rather than protecting the Roselle again, like we want to do, we stayed in Castle Wolford we stayed in Whiteholm Castle to deal with the Royalists. So up until now, we've done everything by the books to put Roland in as the king, on the throne, in charge, with the might of the people behind him. And so now that we have a King Roland with all the power and whatnot that entails, and we also have the salt crystals from the mines, we have only one choice to do.
Have you heard the popular rumor, Lord Claris?
That Hyzant intends to raise an army against Glenbrook? Yes, I am familiar.
So it's reached the consortium then. Is it true?
King Roland has only just reclaimed the crown city with Hyzant's help, not to mention restored relations with them. Ordinarily, such a thing would be unthinkable, but the rumors are so persistent that I think something may be afoot.
For example?
I wouldn't be so restless if I had an example to give.
Esfrost gathers its troops at Twinsgate. Might they have heard the rumors as well?
Perhaps. A battle for the very soul of Norzelia may loom on the horizon. But therein lies the opportunity for merchants like us. You can't wage war without a surfeit of supplies.
You're quite right about that.
And each shift in Norzelia's power balance opens new business opportunities.
Will the consortium
Spoken like a true merchant.
Tis difficult to say. I believe House Wolford's actions from here on will be key to the consortium's decision.
House Wolford, you say?
Indeed. They've been involved in most every conflict between the three nations on this continent. Why stop now? I shall wait and see how Lord Serenoa responds first, lest I make any hasty decisions.
You know, Claris is not really that great of a guy. Given the opportunity to, like in different circumstances, he'd probably be evil. It just so happens that he's greedy, but happens to be on our side, so it works out. The greatest speech of all time.
I am gladdened to see each and every one of you. I
my ironclad brothers in arms here at Twinsgate. I have asked you here to tell you of a most fortuitous discovery. We have found crystals of salt deep in the Grand Norzelian mines. Alas, Glenbrook has taken those very mines from us. What's worse, Glenbrook's esteemed House Wolfort is led by one of the saintly seven of Hyzant.
I just love
They
how
will
he
no
can
doubt
just
be
twist the
informed of
truth
salt crystals,
so
and
efficiently.
their precious religion will be shaken to its core. I trust you can all imagine how Hyzant will respond to such an affront. They will not go quietly, but will instead seek the crystals for themselves, that their reign of terror may continue unimpeded. Therefore, we must subdue Glenbrook and seize the mines for Esfrost if we are to counter this grave threat. But we cannot stop there, for that will only draw Hyzant to our gates. They will stop at nothing to conquer all of Norzelia in their name. The Duchy has never been in a more precarious position. But we will not yield. We subscribe to no faith, and we bend the knee for no king. We shall greet our enemies at Twinsgate with cold, hard steel. Our newest weapon, the Death's Knell, is nearly complete. With it, we shall strike back at Hyzant. The false goddess shall crumble beneath the sheer force of our iron will, and Hyzant reduced to rubble along with her. Raise your swords, my black iron heroes. Your names shall be cast in iron when the histories of this day are written. You shall be known as the defenders of Esfrost. For Esfrost!
Oh yes. The Death's Knell will reduce many a falsehood to rubble, dear Gustadolf.
I love the scheming. And lastly, let's see what Hyzant has to say here. I'm surprised there are no character stories. Like we didn't get any additional for Milo. We might be out for Milo. And none for Avlora.
Milo has sent a dispatch from Glenbrook. Deep within the Grand Norzelian mines lies... It would seem salt crystals were found within.
Impossible!
The discovery of salt outside the source explains Gustadolf's recent provocations.
How can you be so calm? The teachings tell us that salt is a blessing, bestowed only upon the goddess's followers. The discovery of these salt crystals is an existential threat to Hyzant.
Salt crystals are salt too. We need only keep word of this discovery from spreading.
Of course. But how?
The Hierophant has spoken. Minister
Yes,
Exham,
the
you shall
Hierophant.
raise an army and seize the Grand Norzelian mines in Hyzant's name.
The Hierophant asks us to invade Glenbrook?
Do you have another way to silence King Roland and his royal hounds in House Wolfort?
Minister Serenoa is one of us, and thus is honor-bound to heed the Hierophant's word. But we know not if he will do so, or if he will cast his lot with his precious king. You shall ask him yourself when you surround Castle Wolfort en route to the mine.
And if he resists?
You are free to deal with him, as we do with all who forsake the goddess.
Hyzant has learned of the salt crystals. Minister Exham of the Saintly Seven wastes no time in mustering his army, which now marches on the Grand Nozellian mines. Elsewhere, Gustadolf amasses his own forces at Twinsgate in anticipation of the war to come. All eyes are on Glenbrook, where Roland and Serenoa's pronouncement could touch off a battle for the soul of Norzelia. After much deliberation, Roland makes his way to Castle Wolffort to inform Serenoa of the decision that now weighs heavy on his heart.
Alright, let's hear it, my king. What you got for us? How are we going to spin the salt together?
I appreciate you coming all this way, Roland.
I was the one who asked for your time, so it is only natural I make the journey. I wish to tell you that I finally made up my mind.
Alright, let's
I
hear
would
it,
your
Roland.
decision if you were willing to share it with me.
I've long pondered over the one thing that Norzelia needs most. I thought back on the Salt Iron War. 30 years have passed, yet the root of our conflict remains the same. Each nation still thinks only of itself, wishing to fill its coffers even at the expense of others. But who bears the brunt of such a war?
The people.
Exactly so. The avarice of the ruler is an existential threat to their loyal subjects.
And yet without that wealth, the people suffer just as much. They languish in poverty.
This much is obvious. But there can be no winner without a loser. Remove one and you necessarily remove the other. If we achieve equality, we achieve peace.
And how do you propose we achieve? No. No, surely you don't mean.
Yes. The goddess's teachings.
The goddess's teachings?
All who live as equals under the goddess.
No, Roland.
An authority greater than any king. The model nation was in front of us all along, Serenoa. The holy state of Hyzant. I had decided that we must give the salt crystals in the Grand Norzellian mines to Hyzant.
Roland?
And in so doing, you'll give them control of all Norzelia.
Exactly. There will be no more squabbling over salt. Norzelia will know eternal peace at last.
Unequal peace, surely. One built on the backs of a people like the Roselle, if not the Roselle themselves.
I am not blind to that fact. But so few will suffer for the good of so many. Nothing in this world is perfect, Serenoa. The sacrifice of the few for the good of the many. It's the only clear answer, and one I would give every time I were asked.
Submitting to the goddess will rob you of your kingship.
So be it. My crown, my pride. They are but small prices to pay for peace.
You are truly prepared to throw it all away.
Join me, Serenoa. Let us unite Norzelia under the Holy State.
Roland, this is quite sudden.
I understand. Pray, take all the time you need. I expect Frederica will want nothing to do with this plan, seeing as it forsakes her people. I am already mourning the rift this may cause between you, but I shall not be swayed. This will be my final act as Glenbrook's king.
Man.
King Roland's anguish plays plainly across his face. It pains me to see him so tortured.
You probably wouldn't feel so tortured, feel so bad if you heard what he had to say.
Nothing of the entire continent rests upon his shoulders.
Pray tell, what do you intend to do about the salt crystals?
In truth, I cannot decide. Salt is too precious to be hoarded. We've a duty to share it with the people. which is...
Where the difficulty lies, yes. The source makes that all too clear. Salt lies at the heart of every war in Norzelia.
Would that the boundless salted sea of Rosellan legend still existed. We'd have no need of conflict if there were a source of salt for all.
It's like going to Elysium.
My love, if I may, the discovery of the salt crystals has made two things plain to me. The first is that my mother spoke true in the legend she passed on to me.
And the other is that the goddess's teachings are nothing more than a lie built to constrain your people.
Just so, we are guilty of nothing. Yet the Roselle languish in the source, where they are looked down upon and forced to work until they die. Entire generations lost, countless lives given to Hyzant's cruelty. Cruelty created to justify Hyzant's own avarice and lust for power.
Such is the ugly lie at the heart of their teachings.
One revealed by a crystal of the mineral they hold so dear. The time has come, Serenoa. The Roselle must be freed. The salt crystals have brought us to the brink of war. We can harness this unrest, incite the Roselle to rise up and rebel against their captors.
I am with you. Believe me, I am. But you make it sound so...
Simple. Yes, I know. But the suffering of my people is so distant for everyone else. We can no longer wait for someone to do the right thing. Help isn't coming. Why else would my own mother incite rebellion? We are alone.
I swear to you, none of this feels distant to me. The Roselle live in my domain. I am betrothed to you, my dear. It couldn't feel any closer.
And I thank the stars that I have you by my side. I do. In truth, that's why I think this time will be different. Why I'll be able to accomplish what my mother could not.
I agree. But the risk is immense. Suppose we succeed, what then? Hyzant will not let us go quietly.
Hey, Jumper.
Of course not.
And
You made it right on time for the fireworks.
You can lead the Roselle to Centralia, just as your mother wrote about in the book she left behind. Beyond the Great Falls and the Falk's domain at the end of the Norzelia River. The ancestral home of the Roselle.
But that's just a legend.
We've already found one legend to be rooted in truth. Perhaps this one is as well. And if not, at least you'll be safe from harm.
I doubt Benedict will share our feelings, though. Abandoning all we've built to embark on a journey fraught with danger in search of a legend.
She sounds so happy about it.
No matter how perilous the path ahead, I would happily walk it at your side.
I trust you understand what a monumental effect the discovery of these salt crystals will have on Norzelia's history. Whatever course of action we choose will determine whether House Wolfort leaves a legacy in that history, or is expunged from it.
That is quite extreme, but actually probably true.
I would do all I could to keep it from falling into Hyzant's hands. They already control the source. With the crystals in hand, they will solidify their grip on the realm, and in time dominate it. The siren song of a false equality under their goddess shall blanket the land, claiming every domain and its people.
Even though they count me among the Saintly Seven.
Even then, for that matters little when the equality they espouse is dictated by the goddess, or should I say, the Hierophant. In the end, they will have the same life and death control over all Norzelia that they now hold over the Roselle.
And our wounds from the battle with Esfrost have only begun to heal. Hyzant will destroy us if we wage war against them in our current state.
They stand little chance against us if we ally with S-Frost.
Ally? With S-Frost?
Are you of sound mind, Benedict?
Quite. Think about it for a moment. S-Frost wants nothing more than to loosen Hyzant's grip. They will go to war if it means control of the salt crystals.
Our interests are broadly aligned, yes, but
S-Frost has been building toward precisely that purpose for some time now.
you speak of the Death Knell, the weapon that Cordelia mentioned.
Precisely. A weapon capable of reducing the goddess's shield to rubble, leaving Hyzant's capital ripe for the taking. Without that weapon, we cannot win. You need only say the word, and I shall convince S-Frost to join our side.
He's so sure of
Your
himself.
candor, Benedict, and I do not doubt you could secure S-Frost's cooperation. But I fear the harder fight is within our own domain. King Roland's heart will not be easily won.
I bid you listen closely and calmly to what I'm about to ask.
From whence this somber tone?
Do you believe King Roland is fit to rule?
What are you implying?
Decorum is of little use when the fate of our realm is at stake, Lord Serenoa. Are you content to spend the rest of your life in servitude to another?
Not another word, Benedict. Roland is more than my king. He is my friend.
And brother, technically.
You are Lord of House Wolfort, whose military prowess is known to all Norzelia. Not the guard dog of Glenbrook and Hyzant. What else are you here to do, if not to protect your house and keep its banner aloft? But you have the potential for so much more. All Norzelia could be yours if you but desired it.
Treason, if not outright regicide. These are your suggestions.
Of course not. The blood in your veins and the royal family's ring are claim enough to the throne. There is no need for violence.
I told you not to speak of that again.
But you did not tell me to forget. The time to reckon with your lineage draws near. You must make a...
I've heard enough. Leave me.
Just know that I will do anything you ask of me, Lord Serenoa. I pray that you make the right choice, not only for House Wolfort, but for yourself.
They all make compelling arguments. Once again, House Wolfert stands before three diverging paths. The time has come to lay their convictions bare before the scales and make their greatest decision yet. Is Roland really fit to rule? I don't know. I'm starting to have my doubts. We did a lot of stuff in order to make him be the ruler of Glenbrook. We burned down our houses, we destroyed the dam in Telior, we flooded the streets of Crown City. We had to fight in a death match in a fight club. We smuggled salt for him. We defeated the royalists for him, even though it led to our father being assassinated. And then after all of that, he says, yeah, I don't think I really want the crown. I'm good. All of that, and he still wants to give it to Hyzant. It's wild.
You are certain Hyzant's army marches for the Grand Norzelian mines?
There is no doubt.
They've heard word of the crystals.
It was only a matter of
got to be ready.
How will Glenbrook respond, King Roland?
There's no need to prepare for war. I have decided that we will surrender the salt crystals to the holy state of Hyzan.
The way he sounded so sure of himself. Like, don't worry, guys, I got this. I've got the perfect plan.
What?
Furthermore, I hereby declare that the kingdom of Glenbrook and its people shall submit to the goddess and her teachings. There is no way to bring happiness to all Norzelia with the salt crystals, which is why I have chosen a path that will allow the greatest number of people to live in equality and harmony.
How could you? Do you not see that Hyzan's dominion over Norzelia's salt is why we are in conflict already? Is the suffering of the Rosal not proof enough that the goddess's vaunted equality is a lie?
She speaks the truth, my king. Handing over the salt crystals is tantamount to giving Hyzan's goddess free reign of Norzelia.
False goddess, by the way.
Will you so readily surrender the realm to the Hierophant?
I acknowledge the abdication of my kingdom and kingship alike. A small price to pay in my eyes, in exchange for the security and prosperity of the many.
And the sacrifice of the Rosal, is that a small price to you?
It is.
How could you say such a thing to my face?
I, for one, oppose. I would prefer to ally with Estfrost and strike back at Hyzan. The salt deposits within the mines give us the leverage we need to convince Gustadolf to join us.
Ally with Estfrost? You dare suggest we ally with the man who murdered my father?
I see no reason why we should not. You proposed abdicating the throne for the sake of the kingdom and its people. So you should have no trouble putting aside your own feelings and judging this matter dispassionately.
I cannot believe my own ears. I will not have you lecture me on feelings when it is not your father he murdered.
None of you can see beyond your own grievances. It's no wonder my people have suffered for generations. We're told to believe in the goddess, while our own lives are thrown away to make a few more grains of your precious salt. And now, even with proof that the goddess is a lie, you would watch us dig our own graves for your comfort.
Lady Frederica, please. We shall speak of the Rosal in due time.
Frederica has the most convincing argument in all of this. It's just that her plan is the craziest one.
Never, and I will not have you cast us aside for another 3 decades or more. All else is in disarray. If Hyzan seizes the salt crystals, we forfeit the best opportunity in decades to free my people. We know the truth. We must act upon it. We must be a light in the darkness.
We cannot afford to dilute our forces when the enemy marches on us as we speak.
So we are a distraction to you?
I am merely being rational. Liberating the Rosal would be extremely dangerous. We cannot take such a risk.
Chomper says, Benedict has the best plan. Frederica has the best argument. Roland...
Suppose we succeed. How do you propose we fend off the fury Hyzan will rain down upon us?
Estfrost would pounce on us, sensing weakness at the undue burden we've taken upon ourselves.
Precisely. We would be without allies and ripe for the taking.
There is another way.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
We set out alongside the Rosal in search of Centralia.
Centralia is a myth.
The legends of my people are true.
I care not one whit if they are. I will hear no talk of forsaking the Wolfort domain.
Silence! I have heard enough to know where each of you stand. Do you all hold the courage of your own convictions?
Now, one interesting thing to figure out here is whether we can do the golden route this playthrough, since we unlocked it on a previous playthrough, or do you have to do the golden route every single time you do the golden route?
I do.
Nothing I've heard here has swayed me.
I feel the same.
Very well. But know that a choice must be made. There can only be one way forward. Face the scales of conviction and prepare to make peace with the outcome.
Okay, so you cannot actually swap. Or you can't do the golden route if you haven't properly gone the exact route, which is fine. I was planning on doing the Frederica route next playthrough anyway, because last time I was not at max level, and this time I will be. Alright, let's save here in case we don't get the desired outcome, although I'm pretty sure we will. And let's spend some money here. As I said before, there is no combat in Chapter 17. Pretty sure with one more full playthrough, we'll get everything that we need. Like, how many things are we really missing anyway? One, two. I mean, this is going to be the most expensive one right here. 1 and 2. 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11 total squares left. There's no way I wanted it to be him, right? Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be her. Alright, Hasabara is fully upgraded now. Next person will be... Oh, what happened? Okay, that's what you meant by what happened when you stayed with Roland. So, when we stayed with Roland, chapter 15... it was the previous stream, and we wandered about the village, and Patriot was stealing the supplies from the peasants, but the peasants were basically unruly. They were basically saying things like, hey, you royalist, like, basically got to live good while, or like you bowed your head to Esfrost when they were here, and now you want to take our supplies. And Patriot was saying that the king wanted all this, so he was saying that it was Roland that was giving him these orders, right? And the peasants were upset because Roland had been run away for forever, and they thought he was dead, and then all of a sudden he comes back, and now he's supposed to just like kick out Esfrost that was treating them well. So they were like uprising, and then basically Patriot was killing like insurrectionists. Except they weren't really insurrectionists, they were just disgruntled and wanted to not be have their stuff taken away from them. And he was trying them for treason without a trial, and like killing peasants in the street and things like that. And so Roland saw all of this and thought it was terrible, and then he made a plan to exile the royalists, starting with Patriot to make an example of him. So we met him out in the street. He was trying to hustle some merchant, and then we had to fight him. It was a pretty easy battle. And then we ended up killing Patriot in the street, and then the whole town basically called Roland a tyrant, and how they were all afraid of him because they were like, in their eyes, they thought that Patriot was his trusted, servant and advisor, and they didn't know that he was actually like evil. So they're all afraid of Roland, and then like the one of the orphans that basically Patriot killed some people, and then they had that couple had a child, and that child basically tried to assassinate Roland, and she's told him that she hated him and that she wished he'd never come back because it was because of him that her parents were dead and all this other stuff. And so that made Roland very sad. But the new unit that we got during that was Cordelia, which I already knew about because I had to look up how to get Avlora and how to get the perfect ending for the third playthrough. But Cordelia is the new character that we get. She's like a straight up healer. So Gila is more of like, she's pretty good at healing, but she's more of a buffer. Cordelia is like a crazy, crazy healer. And I'm glad that she is alive, because one thing that you'll notice is that Cordelia stops showing up in cutscenes after chapter 15. She's not in 15 part 3, she's not in 16, she's not in 17, 18, or 19, or 20 in any of the paths that we've been on yet. So I was kind of starting to worry about her, given that, Roland was so upset. But also at the same time, during my Golden Route playthrough, I kind of spoiled myself into knowing that we were going to get Cordelia in chapter 15. So she's got pretty good abilities. Above and Beyond is a really nice one. Grants HP to an ally ignoring the maximum limit. She has Regen, which heals a portion of the ally's HP every turn. What else does she have? Also, she just like heals a lot. So she doesn't have the For Those in Aid that Gila has. Gila heals extra to people that are less than 50% HP. Right? And her abilities, so Cure Wounds is 1 TP and costs 170, or it has a power of 170. And Sanctuary has a power of 136. But if you look at Cordelia, her abilities Heal costs 2 TP but has 230 power. And Healing Regen is 195. So she can heal a group of people better than Gila can heal one person, but it costs 3 TP. But she grants 1 TP when not moving from her turn. So she gets a TP every turn naturally, and then she gains an extra TP by not moving during her turn. So she can heal every turn, or she can use Regen while gaining TP every turn. And then she doesn't even have to use TP because she has Self-Sacrifice, which loses half of your max HP and increases the ally's HP by 50%. So then that 50% max HP is always her max HP, so it'll always take off, 207 HP from me. But the thing about that is I also have Above and Beyond, which grants HP to an ally overcoming the maximum limit. So I can heal myself using this and get to like 999 HP, and then use Self-Sacrifice from then on and heal 50% every turn, and it only takes 200 off of me. She has a self-sacrifice move, and so does Avlora. Yeah. So, like, the great thing about the two of them, they actually work really, really well together. And that's the first thing that I noticed. She's got... So, for one thing, if she uses Above and Beyond on Avlora, it's game over, right? Because Risky Maneuver takes 15% of your max HP. So, it's the same deal, right? She could do Above and Beyond on Avlora and put her at double her current max HP. So, she's now at 200% max HP, and then she uses Risky Maneuver, which takes off 15%, so now she's at 185% max HP, which is just broken. And then she uses again, now she's at, like, 170 max HP, 170% max HP, so you can just use it over and over again. Then on top of that, she has Regen, which basically says, yep, you get to heal at the start of every turn. Meanwhile, she deals damage using every one of her turns. So they're like a great combination for each other. And I love it. How Anita gets buffs when above 50% HP? I mean, it's just like Archeops. Or Wishy-Washy, or what's it called? Zygarde. Alright, let's save again. Alright, Hewitt.
However,
here we stand after a bitter fight to reclaim the crown city, only for the king to speak of forsaking it. As his subject, it is my duty to follow his decree, and yet... My lord, the choice before us feels immense. I am utterly adrift. Pray, tell me how you see the proposals from King Roland and the others. I need your guidance. Let's go with Benedict. As you said, Roland is kind of crazy. An alliance with Esfrost gives us iron, and we already have salt. Together we will cower before Hyzant no longer. People do not deserve to be cast aside or given over to some other nation. They deserve protection, and we shall provide it. To surrender the salt crystals would mean the surrender of our last remaining weapon. We will be but puppets to the Hierophant. Let's see, what is Hewitt gonna go for? You have the right of it, my lord. They will take everything we hold dear, as suits to their preserved vision of equality, and we'd only look to the Roselle to see how they tolerate dissent. Indeed, if not for the esteem we gained in their eyes, we would never have reclaimed the capital. But we owe them no more. If we submit to their rule, I shudder to think what will become of us. Thus, your use of the salt crystals to establish our standing with them. I think that worked. Alright, Gila.
What do you need?
Each path before us demands a great sacrifice in exchange for a great reward. I am sure King Roland, Benedict, and Frederick have agonized over their proposals.
Well...
So now we must agonize on our own decisions. Pray, tell what drives you to embrace Benedict's strategy. Any concession to Hyzant is like as not to result in the theft of our kingdom in the name of their perverse sense of equality. Perhaps. The contribution of our domain and the crystals, coupled with the fall of Esfrost, should win us unfathomable esteem in their eyes.
Well, what if...
Though the Saintly Seven control the Salt, and thought of nothing of oppressing the Roselle to maintain their hold on power. So yes, I see little reason why they would look kindly of recent converts such as ourselves making such an entrance. And all the while we would know the truth, that the goddess's teachings are a lie. Precisely. We meet a swift end, indeed, where we would meet a swift end indeed, were they to find out what we know. Yes, there are plenty of reasons to strike them down now. What outcome do you foresee? I agree. Brief bursts of conflict are inevitable so long as Hyzant maintains his grip on salt supplies. As long as the goddess shield stands, the Holy State will win any protracted war by attrition, as they always have done. Just as you say, the salt crystals and the dust snell give us the advantage, which we can compound if we cut off their iron supply.
Possibly.
Benedict proves himself a master strategist yet again. I can find few flaws in it. Wow, we actually convinced Gila? What a day. We're not changing Frederica's mind. But let's hear what she has to say anyway.
Serenoa. But I have decided.
Frederica's resolve is steadfast. Your words have no power here.
Serenoa.
I'm wondering how this is going to play out. We only have 3 combat chapters, 18, 19, and 20. Now we know that chapter 20 is going to be versus Edor and the Hierophant. And we have to somehow defeat Camsel and or Marshall and or Layla. Maybe even Tenebris? Maybe this is the one time we get to fight Tenebris in here? We probably have to fight Exam Marshall in the Wolford Domain in chapter 18, I'd imagine, right? I mean, I'm going to find out like sometime this week, so I'm not sure why I'm too pressed about it.
I have made my decision. I think not. Moreover,
My lord. Quite impossible. We must decide. I believe I've reached a decision.
Aye, lad.
Our sweat and blood fed this land, built it a proper domain. I see no reason why we should surrender it all to Hyzant. And Lady Frederica, while I sympathize, has to risk everything for the sake of the Roselle. Benedict's got the right of it, I reckon. But even that doesn't quite quiet the nagging feeling I get every time I think about our options. You think benefit will get us through this too, eh? How do you reckon? Why do I even need to convince you? Shouldn't you just like already be on Benedict's side? We've no way of knowing that the domain will be spared if we submit to Hyzant. Trying to free the Roselle is a sure way to get ourselves killed. Best to side with Esfrost to take the Holy State off the map then, right? Indeed. We must look past Esfrost's transgressions if we are to protect what matters most. I expected nothing less than the Lord of the House. Excellent reasoning, truly. Alright, this is a wrap. We got 4 people. Now the question is, are we betraying Roland or did Roland betray us first? Roland definitely betrayed us first. Oh, there's actually like, you know, at the end of chapter 15 where like you figure out whatever that crazy secret is for your chapter. Like if you go to free the Roselle, then you learn about the book, and if you go to the Wolfort Castle, then you see Simone die and you find out that Serenoa is actually King Regna's son. So at the end of chapter 15, when you stay with Roland, is when he first starts pondering over like, you know, oh, I really thought that if I could just be king, then I would just come here and fix everything, but I really can't. And he starts having the first few embers of doubt. Yeah, it's like a little stealth bit that you can just kind of do here. So he has this kind of like, you know, I can't actually do this anymore. Maybe I should just throw in the towel for the first time at that point.
Lord Serenoa.
Benedict and King Roland would march us to war. Frederica would see Hyzant hunt us for all of eternity. Perhaps her vision is not so different. So it's come to this: ally with a one-time opponent or flee with the Roselle.
However,
bold proposals all, our tactics must be flawless. Why has Benedict's strategy swayed you? True, our goals align for the moment, which means Ghost Elf may entertain negotiations.
in that case,
You will offer our assault and military might in exchange for the Death Snell. Yes, the one weapon that could reduce the goddess's shield to rubble. A sound logical proposal, and one with a fair chance of succeeding. Though we are not the only ones prepared to test a new weapon. Hyzant has Elfric at his disposal, yes. Its use in battle, however, is severely limited. Especially in a siege. If that is our only weapon, then perhaps we shall have little trouble. Wow, it was no trouble whatsoever convincing everyone to do Benedict's plan. Then again, our conviction levels are completely out of control right now. We're like at 3,000 for every single one of them. Lord Serena, I cannot feel that our greatest battle lies ahead regardless of which path you choose. I know this may not be the best time to say so, but oh yeah, this is the guy that just had a child, right? Yeah. Go ahead and take the day off. We got this. Lord Serenoa, he would allow me to leave House Wolford at a time like this? But of course. Before you do, though, allow me to thank you for all you've done for our house. I wish you and your family every happiness. Thank you. It's an honor to call you my lord. Roland peaks in the golden route. But I saw him like do something really cool at some point in time, and I was like, oh man, Roland's so cool in this scene. When was that? I don't remember. Oh yeah, Cyrano remains in the capital to expose the royalists' misdeeds. Though Roland punishes Patriot for his wrongdoings, a young girl attacks him, knowing the royalists who slayed her parents were under the royal family's purview. Roland is overwhelmed by the disparity between his ideals and reality, and recognizes the extent of his own powerlessness. That was the beginning of the end right there. I think it was somewhere around here, somewhere between 10, or not 10, somewhere between 11 and 14. To King Roland, Lady Frederica, and Sir Benedict's convictions would diverge, to think that they would diverge so greatly at all this time. Just between you and me, what do you make of their plans? Benedict plans to use Esfrost's ideals of freedom to ascend to the top of Norzelia. Roland intends to put his personal feelings aside to bring peace and equality to everyone. Frederica's wish is a human one. She desires to liberate those who have been cruelly oppressed. So you join forces with the duchy, not only to survive, but to prepare for this final stage of his plan. I think the strategy no ordinary tactician would come up with. I would certainly not want him as an enemy. Thankfully for us, he is House Wolford's most loyal retainer. Indeed he is. Though it does make me wonder if everything he has done is simply for the sake of our house, or for something more. Everyone's choices are deeply rooted in their convictions. It makes me wonder if they'll be able to abide by the Scale's decisions. Or Cyrano, it will fall to you to lead to everyone down the right path. Of course, I wish for all of us to walk astride the same path as we always have. I'm sure that'll definitely happen. It's not like this would cause a rift or anything like that. Roland can give the throne to literal slavery, but can't do it for someone who killed his parents. Yeah. Alright. Let's end the persuasion phase.
It is time to cast our votes. The opinions before us are many. Roland's, Frederica's, Benedict's. Which to choose? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Alright, so that's 2 for us.
You have my vote.
3. Alright, we win because I can break the tie.
I have faith in you.
Alright, we just outright win.
I'm with you.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
What did Hewitt say? I've decided that this is what's best for both King Roland and us all. How ironic.
The way forward is decided. We will follow Benedict's plan and join forces with Esfrost to lay Hyzant low.
Alright, let's see the conflict that comes from this.
A tumultuous meeting exposes a yawning chasm between Roland, Frederica, and Benedict's visions for the future. Yet only one will emerge victorious, for such is the custom of House Wolford. As ever, the scales of conviction have the final word. The time has come for judgments to be rendered, and leaders to steel themselves for the outcome.
Of lords and lineages.
We've chosen our path. We shall ally with Esfrost and strike at the heart of the holy state of Hyzant.
So you would kiss Gustadolf's feet and bribe him with salt? I cannot abide this idiocy. You will defeat Hyzant only to be conquered by Esfrost.
We are well aware of Gustadolf's cunning. He shan't take advantage of us.
You would ally with them only to stab them in the back later?
If need be.
Have you no shame?
Says the king who would deliver his own people to Hyzant.
Yes, for that is how we secure peace for the many at the expense of the few.
You know that is not true. Hyzant will conquer all Norzelia if we give them the salt crystals. All will be forced to worship at the feet of the goddess and follow her orders. Just as the Roselle have at the source.
I see House Wolford is determined to walk their path astride Esfrost. But as King of Glenbrook, I will not allow it.
You're about to give up the throne.
Lord Wolford, I command you to march on the duchy and strike down Gustadolf.
What?
You remain my vassal. I dare you to defy me.
He double dares me.
Roland.
Triple
Your
dog daring.
Majesty.
You are bound by nothing, Lord Serenoa. You are no one's vassal.
What are you talking about?
Benedict, now's not the time.
Now is not the time.
Lord Serenoa is not the son of Lord Simon. His true parentage is none other than His Majesty King Regna.
You cannot be serious.
King Regna fell in love with Lady Destra, a commoner living in the Crown City. When it came to light that she was with child, King Regna bowed to pressure from the royalists and had Lord Simon take her in. She bore a son, who you know today as Serenoa, heir to House Wolford.
If this is true, and you are my elder brother, then you are not bound by my command.
Hold! Roland is the one with the royal ring, is he not?
Oh, I've got one too.
Even if this story is true, is it not Roland who holds claim to the throne?
Roland was not the only one entrusted with a royal ring.
So you possess one as well, Serenoa.
I do.
This is genuine. There is no mistaking it. What Benedict says must be true. I've always admired you, Serenoa. I knew from the moment we met that you were worthy of respect. I always felt you to be my better, even as a leader. Yet I still felt a closeness with you I could never place. Now, at last, I have.
What perfect timing.
Roland,
All the more reason why I cannot concede to you now. Least of all to you, dear brother. Serenoa Wolfort, I challenge you to a duel. To the victor goes the crown.
pray, let us think about this.
Cyrano doesn't even want the crown.
On your guard, Serenoa. I do not say this in jest.
Cease this quarreling at once. Stop them, Benedict.
Benedict is not stopping them.
I cannot. They must settle this here and now if we are to move forward.
Listen to Benedict. This is not your fight. Do you have the courage of your convictions, brother?
Roland, stop this madness. I have no desire to sit upon the throne. I only wish to aid you in protecting our kingdom, the only home we've ever known.
I have no doubt. You've been a peerless friend. I would trust you with my life. But the truth has been revealed and our paths diverge. You said it yourself. There can only be one way forward.
That has naught to do with our lineage. Our bloodlines need not be shackles.
Shackles? Ha!
Wrong person to say that too.
I have fought tooth and nail to protect what you now decry.
I know you have suffered, brother.
How can you? You who had your father's love, the unwavering trust of your subjects, proved yourself time and again so effortlessly. I ask you to prove yourself once more.
Roland, please.
I have toiled in your shadow while you led House Wolford to glory. I have revered you and envied you in equal measure.
Now it's personal.
To be like you, and I long to claim victory over you. Just once.
I am not worthy of such adulation. Nor am I alone the reason we've come this far. We are all in this together.
I knew you would seek to erase yourself from our history if you knew how I felt. Don't you dare shrink from me! Stand and fight so I can best you!
I have no will to fight you, brother. I want none of this.
But life does not always turn out how we want. Of this, you and I are now keenly aware. You asked me to put aside my feelings when you talked of joining with Esfrost. Now I ask you to do the same.
He's got a fair
Prove
point
to me
there.
that you have what it takes to deal with Esfrost and crush Izand. That you can cut out a part of yourself to do what you think must be done. Show me you can create this bold new future you speak of.
You should fight him. That was a good argument.
Very well. The scales of conviction have spoken, and House Wolford shall heed their word. If you would stand in our way and seek to prevent us from walking the path we have chosen, so help me, as Lord of House Wolford, I shall cut you down where you stand.
Here we go.
Yes. Let us see who is the better between us.
On your guard.
Wow. Their convictions are literally visible.
Seems it was me, dear brother.
In the end, I cannot escape your shadow. Kill me. It is only fitting that it is you who strikes the final
What?
blow.
No, Roland, stop being silly.
What will become of Glenbrook?
That is up to you. I leave the kingdom in your hands.
Everyone always wants us to
You
kill
have the
them.
ring, the royal blood. And it was House Wolford that reclaimed the kingdom. The people and the nobles will assent to your rule. So long as I am gone.
This is no time to waver, Lord Serenoa. King Roland initiated the duel. the terms are his to dictate. Letting him live will only prolong our troubles.
You think I do not know that? You ask the impossible. My friend, my brother, is not meant to die by my hand.
You are cruel in your kindness, Serenoa. I have neither the constitution nor the fortitude to be king. I cannot lead as you can, as our father did. I saw the terrifying limits of my abilities, and sought the sweet release of surrendering to a higher power.
Yeah, the truth comes out.
Would you have such a coward live?
I've watched you confront these parts of yourself for as long as I can remember. I've watched you strive to better yourself, to better everyone. You had my undying loyalty and trust. Oh, how I admired you, my friend. How I longed to follow in your footsteps.
And follow you did. But now you must overtake me.
I shall. Just promise me one thing. Promise me that you will watch over me. Every breath, every stab, every word from my lips. And the moment you see me stray, you will set me back on the right path.
This I shall do, seeing as you bested me in combat. Farewell, Serenoa.
Farewell. This was the most amicable ending.
Brother or friend.
Like, they could have definitely like settled that after that happened.
Not the parting I would have preferred, but as Roland himself noted, life does not always turn out as we want.
Not another word, Benedict. I do not trust myself to show restraint.
My love.
At least we have settled on a path forward. There is work to do.
Poor Hewitt.
King Roland!
Leave me, Hewitt.
I cannot do that. Or have you forgotten that you are my one and only sworn liege?
Then take this as an order from that liege. Serve Serenoa, as you once served me. I am the only one who need walk this path.
Your Majesty.
Dry your tears, Hewitt. It is unbecoming for a proud member of the King's Guard.
The last surviving
How
member.
can you say that? I never expected our parting to be like this.
I am sorry. But there is something I would tell only you by way of apology. My disagreement with Serenoa and hatred of Esfrost were no lies. I will walk this path, carrying these feelings with me, perhaps forever. But my unwillingness to ally with Esfrost runs deeper than a personal grudge.
Oh, okay.
Is it because you cannot trust Gustadov?
It is his idea of freedom I cannot trust. In a world of unbridled ambitions, people will stop at nothing to claim power. The strong will prosper, while the weak will struggle to survive.
So if we join forces with Esfrost, then someday Glenbrook will.
Yes. His ideals of freedom will inevitably create a clear division between the strong and the weak. It will become a place where even children are no stranger to suffering and sacrifice. Just like those two in the Crown City. I cannot abide by that.
I do
Wow.
not think Lord Serenoa wishes for a world like that.
Nor do I. But Benedict will stop at nothing to defeat Hyzant. Who knows what will happen once he joins forces with Gustadolf.
I understand. You wish for me to stay and watch over House Wolford.
Yes. You must take care of Serenoa in my place. And Cordelia as well.
You have my word. You needn't worry about a thing, Your Majesty.
You were a loyal and true knight, Huet. And for that, you have my eternal thanks.
I actually really liked that scene. Roland has like a lot of depth that he was hiding from the rest of the group up until this very moment. Oh, even better.
Cordelia. I'm sorry.
You needn't apologize. I understand how you feel. I am your sister after all.
Thank you, Cordelia. Take care.
Roland left the party. Serenoa bids farewell to a friend and makes for his mother's grave to reflect upon his recent decision.
I wish I had never learned of my true lineage.
Oh, and by the way, during that long cutscene, Chomper asked, like, you know, what would happen if this were an in-game fight? For a very long time, I would definitely say that Serenoa would have won against Roland. But after they both got to level 50 and got all of their abilities, it's definitely Roland. Roland would 100% win against Serenoa. I mean, he just has too much mobility. He's able to do like opportune attack where he gets like a double hit. He would basically always get a guaranteed back attack against Serenoa. He could like rush to initiate, so he would hit Serenoa and then be 2 squares away and then like run away. So like unless the map were really, really, really small, Serenoa doesn't stand a chance. It would be like 100% Roland. No way that if I had control of both characters, I would always win with Roland. And then even on top of that, like Roland's ultimate ability is 4 dragons, which allows you to ignore the enemy's defense. And Serenoa's ultimate ability is Under Conviction's Banner, which grants 1 TP to the whole party. Now, I use Under Conviction's Banner all the time. It is a very useful team battle ability because it's basically you give, 9 TP for the cost of 4 TP. But in a 1v1 fight against a ranged unit, not a ranged unit, but a unit with high mobility, Roland just has the better kit, basically.
I was happy being Serenoa Wolfort, son of Lord Simon and Lady Destra.
No matter whose blood runs through your veins, you are still yourself.
Thank you, Frederica. But now Roland is gone. Someone's coming.
It looks like Benedict.
I'm in no mood to speak with him. Let us conceal ourselves.
She's just like, yeah, okay.
Lady Destra, today I revealed the truth of Lord Serenoa's birth and drove Prince Roland from the city. Lord Serenoa will be crowned the king of all Glenbrook, but this is merely the first step of many. We will use the salt crystals to ally ourselves with Esfrost and defeat Hyzant. I will see to it that Lord Serenoa becomes the undisputed ruler of all Norzelia. He has the strength and character worthy of sitting atop this realm, and I shall carve that path to the summit for him. He did not wish for the position, nor this power. But no matter how much he resents me, I will ensure his success. He shares your blood, Lady Destra, and as such, I refuse to see him at the mercy of others again.
Why would you go so far?
He must have loved Lady Destra.
Lord Simon, you were a lord worthy of my life's devotion. You were an equal to King Regna in every way. You could have sat upon the throne, and yet you resigned yourself to life as a vassal and took in Lady Destra at your liege's request. You two treated Lady Destra and Lord Serenoa as if they were no more than pawns to be traded about. Back then, I could not forgive you or King Regna.
Yeah, it's because of Lady Destra.
Lady Destra, even now, I find it hard to forgive myself for being unable to save you. Which is why I will make Lord Serenoa a greater ruler than his father or King Regna could ever be. This is my revenge against myself for being so powerless then. I will not repent. I will devote my life to atoning for my incompetence.
So much character development. I love it.
Benedict cared very deeply for Lady Destra.
Very, very deeply.
No amount of regret will change the past. We have no way to go but forward.
Wait, are you about to be kinged? Coronated? Seems a bit too early for that.
My lord, how do the nobles take the news?
They were surprised to hear of Roland's disappearance, as well as of my lineage and intention to ascend the throne. But there was not nearly as much contempt or disorder as I had anticipated.
I also explained that it was King Roland's own decision to abdicate once he learned the truth.
I think it may have been the royal signet that kept them so composed. They took it as proof that King Regna deemed Serenoa a worthy successor.
Even if they had objections in their heart, they could not act upon them. There is not a soul in Glenbrook who can deny the might and exploits of House Wolford. Princess Cordelia would have been their sole chance to challenge his ascension, but she is already within our hands.
I wonder if if you don't get these messages, if you don't have Cordelia as a recruit. I'm so curious now.
Be that as it may, the people must see it as such. I will not be able to get their support should they think I usurped the throne.
Precisely.
In any case, it's hard to believe our young lord's truly the king of Glenbrook.
I never coveted this throne. But we have chosen to ally ourselves with Esfrost and have driven Roland away. I shan't run from my responsibilities any longer. I will take up the mantle of king to serve both Glenbrook and House Wolford.
fine resolve, Your Majesty. We stand with you now, as we always have.
Thank you. Benedict, prepare for my ascension and our negotiations with Esfrost.
Yes, Your Majesty. I will also continue working on our plans for Hyzant.
We cannot afford to lose this battle. Do what you must.
As you command.
That was fast. Like, we just became king just like that.
Several days later, Serenoa announces that he is the son of the late King Regna, and that Roland, having learned the truth, has abdicated the throne. All suspect that there is more behind the announcement, but House Wolford has the support of many in the capital city, and so they accept his words.
So within this year, Glenbrook has been under the rule of King Regna, followed by the Estfrosti army, followed by Queen Cordelia, followed by King Roland, followed by King Serenoa. Like, what a crazy year to be like a noble person. Because it doesn't matter for the peasants. Like, it doesn't matter who's the king as a peasant, but like as a noble, it must have been so wild to live in this one year.
Thus, Serenoa Wolford takes the throne as the new King of Glenbrook. The joining of House Wolford and the Kingdom of Glenbrook is yet another twist in the ever-turning narrative of Norzelia. One which Hyzant and Esfrost look on with ever-wary eyes.
Oh yeah, interesting. If you were Hyzant and you found out that Serenoa was now King of Glenbrook, but they think that he's one of the Saintly Seven, like, what do they think? Do they think, oh cool, now that Serenoa is king, that must mean that we just own Glenbrook? And interestingly, Gustav would be really wary at first. Let's see what Hyzant has to say first.
See, everyone is here. What might this sudden meeting be about?
Not everyone is here.
Minister Tenebris, you kept us waiting.
You're still missing Marshall.
My apologies.
You were all summoned here to discuss the recent political changes in Glenbrook.
King Roland has conceded the throne to Minister Serenoa. Apparently the two are half-brothers.
What? So, this was not a hearing of my crimes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Do you know something about this, Minister Tenebris?
No. What will become of Glenbrook?
There are rumors that King Roland has absconded, but the people seem oddly composed about the change of power.
Is this not a joyous occasion?
That's what I'm saying.
Minister Serenoa on the throne, Glenbrook becomes a vassal nation of Hyzant.
Not quite. We had intended to use Minister Serenoa to pressure King Roland into giving him control over the Grand Norzelian mines. But now he has both the salt crystal veins and the entire kingdom of Glenbrook in his hands. Our window of opportunity has closed.
Precisely. Any attempt to likewise pressure Minister Serenoa may result in us losing more than we bargained for.
It's true, they have salt.
He did not strike me as the sort of man to bite the hand that feeds.
You're not feeding us anything
He usurped the
anymore.
throne from his own master. We cannot afford to let our guards down.
Indeed.
Hear the Holy One's words.
Ah, yes, the Holy One, the Hierophant. Leader of the Saintly Seven, Oracle of the Goddess. Little else is known about the Hierophant, whose true form is shrouded in mystery.
We must be wary of House Wolford. We will summon Minister Exham and his forces back to the city to protect our people.
Understood. I will dispatch a bird to him at once.
I will have our spies in Glenbrook discern Wolford's true intentions.
We must get our hands on those salt crystals. If House Wolford dares disobey the goddess, they must be exterminated at once.
Just say to exterminate the king of Glenbrook?
If I can bring glory to Hyzant and restore my name, soon I will be.
Oh. We're gonna fight Tenebris? I'm looking forward to it. He somehow managed to avoid our fights in the last 3 endings, even though we fought Hyzant in almost all of them. And please, Tenebris, try to find glory. Attempt to curry favor with the Saintly Seven. Imagine if Tenebris were the final boss. That'd be wild. That'd be like Naruto Shippuden levels of twists at the end. Like this no-name, under-designed character that has no lines whatsoever. That, you know, looks like just a regular old NPC. But they were actually the true villain all along. Alright, what does Gustav have to say about this?
I did not foresee Serenoa becoming king of Glenbrook.
Nor did I.
What became of the abdicated King Roland?
Official reports say he left the capital to live a life of seclusion. But rumor has it that he absconded after losing a duel to Lord Serenoa.
Roland concealed his identity and fought hard to reclaim his kingdom. He would not so easily relinquish the throne. The rumors are likely closer to the truth than the reports.
So House Wolford usurped the throne.
I did not take Serenoa for a man who had cast off the shackles of servitude by force. How fascinating it would be if the caged hawk broke free to soar the skies.
Without Prince Roland around, there is hope yet of restoring our relations with Glenbrook. Perhaps we could ask Lady Frederica to help us negotiate.
Glenbrook holds the salt crystal veins in their hands. No amount of negotiations would end in our favor. A bird that has flown the coop must be shot down. Whether they perish or return to a cage is up to them.
Alright. No combat, still lasted 2 hours long. The next time we stream this game, we will do just chapter 18. Followed by just chapter 19, followed by just chapter 20. And then we will have completed yet another Triangle Strategy playthrough. And it will also have been the last ending that we've ever done. Like there are 4 total endings. We've done all of them. Well, we will have done all of them in 3 more streams. It's pretty exciting stuff. I don't think that it's going to be terribly challenging because I think that the Golden Route maps are more difficult in general, and we already beat them, so we should be fine for this one. I was thinking, yeah. I want to finish this game before the 21st. So I got 10 days. All of next weekend, which is nice. But also that's going to be the super cleaning weekend. We beat Link to the Past today. So there isn't a Monday slot game. We could do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Oh yeah, I don't have work on Friday. We'll beat the game on Friday for sure. But it'll probably actually be just Wednesday and Friday and Sunday. So Wednesday, chapter 18, Friday, early afternoon, chapter 19, Sunday, chapter 20, I think, will be the plan. And then we'll have cleared the board from there. Tomorrow, I'll probably play Pokemon Violet. Really need to actually get through that game. I've even been tempted recently to start just playing it and beating it off stream. Because everyone knows the story anyway, and everyone just wants to do raids, and no one wants to actually watch the story of Pokemon Violet anyway. So I might end up doing that, but we'll see how it goes. Stream it 10 days in a row. Well, we don't even need 10 days in a row. I mean, if we were to stream Triangle Strategy for 10 days in a row, then we would probably finish 100%ing it. Because we would do, 18, 19, 20, and that's 3 days. And then we would probably go from chapters 1 through 5 in one stream, and then 6 through 10 in another. And then maybe not. I keep on remembering that chapter 1 is really, really hard. But if I'm not doing it deathless, then it's not so bad. You want to watch the story for Pokemon Violet? Yeah. I mean, it still pulls in the numbers when I play the game. So I guess people do want to watch it, but, I'm just so far behind. Everyone has, their level 100 Pokemon, and they're doing the raid battles, 7-star, 8-star, 20-star raids. And I'm doing, 2-star raids. Still don't know all the Pokemon in the game. I know a lot of the competitive ones. I've been watching some competitive content lately. So I know what the good Pokemon are. I don't know how to get them or how to evolve them and things like that, but should be fun all the same. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to do Violet. Tuesday is Smash. Wednesday, Triangle Strategy. Thursday, Smash. Friday, I don't work, so Triangle Strategy and Final Fantasy 12. Saturday, Pokemon Unite. It's going to be a long one, I think. Unless I'm, cleaning up the house all day. And then Sunday, Triangle Strategy. The final chapter. It's a pretty good looking week, I'd say. I could probably just beat all of Triangle Strategy on Friday instead. We'll see how it ends up going, though. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's stream, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more from me, be sure to subscribe. We'll be back throughout the week, streaming stuff. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and goodbye.